Okay, the next question that I'm gonna do, let's do these. Sometimes they don't give you an actual triangle. They just tell you, for instance, like the one I'm looking at is telling me that A equals 1 and B equals 3. So all you have to do now is set it up as your equation. So if A is 1, you get 1 squared plus B is 3, so 3 squared equals C squared. Okay, you know that's the one that you're missing. So now you start solving. 1 squared, 1 times 1. 3 squared is 3 times 3, and we don't know what C squared is. 1 plus 9 is 10, and they squared C, so we have to do the square root. Square root of 10 is 3.2 when you round it. Okay, and that's the final answer. I'll do another one like that where they just give you the numbers. Okay. Let's see. The one I'm looking at, they gave me A equals 5 and B equals 11. So you just set up your equation. If A is 5, that's going to be 5 squared plus B is 11, so that's 11 squared equals C squared. 5 squared is 25. 11 squared is 121 equals C squared. 25 plus 121 is 146. And please check that in your calculator. I'm doing it in my head, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. And the square root of 146 is 12.1. Okay, 12.1. Now, another thing I wanted to show you was sometimes they give you all three sides, and they don't tell you whether or not it's the right triangle. They want you to check. So let's say they ask you, and I'm paraphrasing it. I'm going to read to you what it says. It says, determine whether each triangle with sides of given lengths is a right triangle. So the long story short, determine whether or not it's a right triangle. So we're asking ourselves, is this a right triangle? Question mark. Sorry, I ran out of space over there. Is this a right triangle? So the first one they gave me, the three sides they gave me was 10 yards, 15 yards, and 20 yards. So they're saying, this is what they're saying. They have a triangle with these three sides. Is it a right triangle? All you do, look for the two smallest numbers. The two smallest numbers are going to be your A and your B. C is always the biggest number. It's the longest side all the time in a right triangle. So let's say these are A and B, 10 and 15, and C is 20, right? So you set up your equation. If A is 10, you have 10 squared. B is 15 plus 15 squared. C is 20 equals 20 squared. What are we trying to see? If this is true. If it's true, then yes, it's a right triangle. If it's not true, then no, it's not a right triangle. So 10 squared is 100. 15 squared is 225. And 20 squared is 400. 20 times 20 is 400. Now, I can tell you right now, this is not going to equal each other. 100 plus 225 is 325, and that does not equal 400. So your answer is no. It's not a right triangle. Okay? Let's try to do another one. I'm trying to see one that looks like it might be right. I think I found one. Okay. This next one, it says 21 feet 28 feet and 35 feet. And they want to know, is it a right triangle? So remember, the two smallest sides, that's your A and your B. So I'm going to say 21 is A, 28 is B, and 35 is C. The longest side is always C. So if A is 21, you got 21 squared plus 28 squared equals 35 squared. And be careful because they don't always give it to you in order like this, A, B, C. You got to look for the two shortest sides first, that's your A and your B, and then go to the longest side, that's your C. So 21 squared, I have no idea, these are big numbers. 21 squared, 441, plus 28 squared, 784, and 35 squared. Remember, we're checking it. We're not solving it. We're checking it. Is 1,225. So we're checking to see, does 441 plus 784 equal 1,225? So you got to add those two numbers to see, do they equal each other? And yes, they do. When you add these two together, you get 1,225, and of course they're equal. So your answer is going to be yes. This triangle is a right triangle. Okay, your answer is yes. Okay, I think we did a good amount of examples with those.